That's really our two major sources, is it? The Catholic Ministries Appeal and the generosity of people who can give to that, which we hope we can grow and increase, and the generosity of the people who, when they come to Mass and they use the envelopes, etc., right, that offertory goes to support the parish, but then a small part of that also goes for the other things that we do that go beyond the parish lines.
Absolutely. Yes, it's very, very important. And of course, with education, we're supported by the tuitions, but as you know, the tuition does not cover the full cost of educating our students. So again, we need to invest to make up that gap between the cost of educating a student and tuition, and we use again some of the monies we receive to the offertory and CMA.
Let's take a minute and look at education. This is a wonderful diocese in which my predecessors made a great contribution and commitment to education. When I came in, we were starting to have some schools just kind of by attrition get into a bad situation, and we couldn't really save them. So we asked a commission that was led by a wonderful guy, Joe Gagan, and he's got a great group who works with him. They go out to the church, the schools now, whether they're parish schools or our own, and they look at the elementary schools and help them move forward and to have the kinds of things they need. But we also need finances, because we cannot place it all on the backs of the parents.
Right.
We cannot place it on the backs of the parish. We cannot place it on the backs of tuition. So what can we do?
Well, there's a couple things. We've been very fortunate with, first of all, Tomorrow's Hope Foundation, under the leadership of Lou Ranieri and that fantastic group, who has actually been providing over the last few years scholarships for those students that require some financial aid to go to school. Importantly, we have the new launching of the Catholic Alumni Partnership, which is a very, very important initiative whereby the 6 dioceses within the tri-state area are now looking to bring back the alumni of elementary schools, to begin to form a re-identification, if you will, between the alumni of the schools and the school themselves. And that's going to be very, very important. We have close to 200,000 alumni from our 53 elementary schools that we're going to try to reconnect with in helping us provide the future foundation for our elementary schools. And so we're going to, and also with the leadership of Ines Cornaseca, our head of advancement and development, we are focusing quite heavily on how do we help advance development for the elementary and for the high schools. It's very, very important.
Now, you mentioned the high schools. We have 10 Catholic high schools in the diocese.
Right.
5 of them are tied in with the parishes, and 5 are tied in with religious orders. So we have 3 diocesan, Holy Trinity, St. John the Baptist, and McGann Mercy, and then St. Dominic's Parish has a high school, and St. Mary's Manhasset has a high school. And then we have a couple of Marianist high schools, and we have the Sisters of Mercy and the Sisters of St. Joseph. And did I leave anybody? Oh, and of course, St. Anthony's,
right,
the Franciscan. So those are they. I visit everyone every year, so I should never forget their names. But of those, we have particular care for those first 5 I mentioned.
Yes, yes, we do. And we, you know, we very much support them. We very much are working on a long-term strategic plan for them to make sure that they're growing, that they're viable, and that they have the right money to support them and invest in them, to grow the curriculum that's required to educate our students in the best way, and support, importantly, the administration and the teachers to know that we're behind them in growing and strengthening the viability of those schools. It's very, very important.
Now, if I were a pastor and I met you for the first time, and I'd say, now, Mr. Trunz, what do you want me to do? What would you say to the pastor who comes to see you?
Well, I would like the pastor to do what he does best, and that's serve in the ministries of the Lord for each of its parishioners and the community, and to begin to engage, provide liturgical support, the ministry support, the social outreach support, and everything that a pastor does wonderfully. And my role in serving that pastor is to take away and to serve him of various temporal and administrative functions, to allow the pastor to spend time on stewardship and evangelization and faith formation for his community. And I think that's a wonderful model. It's similar to what you and I have as a partnership in terms of how we work together and sharing our respective disciplines and our backgrounds. And that's what I'd like to do for each of the pastors.
So we're going to be able to communicate more and more. You and I communicate by email all the time, every day.
Right.
And that becomes part of the model. Is that
Well, absolutely. I think you bring up an operative word, communication. I mean, you and I and Monsignor Brennan and others, we're communicating regularly. And now we're going to institute quarterly deanery meetings, deaneries being geographic clusters of our various parishes, 133 parishes, and also similarly with the principals of our schools. And everything is about regular communication where we can discuss the issues factually, intelligently, and openly. And we're going to have information now, which is very, very important. Information, operational information, financial information, demographic information, and religious information, to have consistent, regular forums to discuss the issues. And I think that's going to be very, very powerful and very effective in how we grow our church.
Good, good. I have a particular pastoral concern this year, two, really. One, we've been featuring in Faith in New Works, which is, as you know, it's the year for priests. And so when I ask you about what you do for priests, what I want is to be able to say to my priests, my brothers here on Long Island, that we're working for you. We're here to help your work be more effective, more efficient, more fruitful. And sometimes it means you have to stop a little bit and change a few things in the process of how we operate. But it's not done just to change. It's done in order to help them.
Right.
Another group that our folks, I learned something down at the Bishop's meeting the week before Thanksgiving, which is that in the Northeast, from Maine down to, say, Virginia, the Northeast part of the United States, there are 4 dioceses with very large populations of Hispanics, of Latinos. The Archdiocese of New York has the largest, Diocese of Brooklyn, the Archdiocese of Newark, and the Diocese of Rockville Centre. I don't think many people realize that we're the 4th largest population of Hispanics on the East Coast, and the Northeast Coast. And there's a whole other group, wonderful people who are very committed to the church. And part of your task is going to be to help me integrate them into the life of this church, give them a sense of belonging because they've been baptized into the Lord, and to see to it that they feel as much a part of the church as you and I do.
There's no question that, as you mentioned, change is imperative. Change must happen, because if we don't change to meet the needs of our parishioners in the community, we won't serve them. And so, as you probably say, we don't change for the sake of change. We change because we must change to meet the needs of our parishioners. And the demographics change. And as you know, we have been investing in our area of communications with the new Hispanic outreach and the newspaper and the website and other things, and also in the area of advancement as well. And every opportunity, even in the schools and everywhere, we must change to meet the needs of our new parishioners and the demographics.
Well, I'm very grateful to you for the good work that you've begun to do, and I know we're going to have a very profitable years to come. And when I say profitable, I don't mean just financially.
Not at all.
I mean the time, the talent, the good gifts that the people of God in this island are so endowed with, and the extraordinary hope we have of the young people, that they will find a church where they are at home and where they want to give of their time and talent to build up the church and build up the communities. Thank you for joining the team. Thank you for being such an important part of the team. And I know that in the years to come, we'll see this church, which is already a blessed and beautiful place, an even more vibrant witness to Jesus Christ. Thanks for all that you do, and thank you for watching us today.